But you see, humility, when you say somebody is humble, right? It doesn't mean that when they are feeble or when they act feeble, when they let other people go, when they give a right of way to somebody else to drive their way. Is that they are thinking of themselves less. Now, I'm not talking about low self-esteem. Okay? Humility is not thinking less of yourself. Humility is thinking of yourself less. Let's put that in grammar again. Humility, when you say somebody is humble, don't mean that person is thinking that they are less than. That they are the ground to walk on, that they don't belong, or that they are not good enough. No, that's no self-esteem. That's thinking of yourself as less than. That's thinking less of yourself. But to be humble means to think of yourself less, to put other people first, to consider other people's feelings, to consider other people's positions. And that is something we usually find it hard to do. Even I find it difficult to do. You know, to think of the way, I want to do this, but how is this going to affect other people? Should I think about it a little more? That is what it means to be humble. And it's difficult. It is difficult to be humble. I had an experience once. So at the seminary, you have the regular, I'm sure you all have heard it, left versus right. You know, in terms of ideology. And I had these guys at the seminary that I know that they always like to attack Pope Francis. So when Pope Francis released his document, Querida Amazonia, Dear Amazonia, where some of these guys have been expecting that the Pope would say they should ordain married men as priests. So I had to get myself ready. The moment that encyclical, the English version was posted, I downloaded it and I finished that thing within 24 hours. That is the fastest I've ever read anything. And why was I reading that document? In retrospect, it was not because I really wanted to know what the Pope was saying. It was because I was preparing myself for battle. And so I read, and the next day I walked into lunch, waiting for that conversation to start. And as the conversation started, they said this, I give them this quote. They said that, I give them that quote. And one of my friends said, dude, calm down. I said, hey, can't blame me, I know what I know. Bring it on. Later that day, I went to spiritual direction. And I was talking to my spiritual director about it. I was in silent heart. I said, I finally dealt with those right-wing guys from the seminary. I dealt with them. So they are not even ready to document, and they were trying to debate me. Father Joe Palermo, my spiritual director, just sat quiet. When I was done, he said, so let me ask you this. What lesson did you think you taught them? Did you think they learned anything? He said, because it sounds to me like you were not really trying to teach, you were trying to win an argument. Did you teach them anything? And my friends, it is then that I realized the arrogance of my approach. I know what I know. You can't blame me for me knowing what I know. But that is not the kind, that is not what Jesus calls us to. Jesus calls us to teach one another with humility. Jesus calls us to interact with one another, not because we know more, but because we have a responsibility to share what you have and expect nothing in return. Part of being humble means to also accept the things you do not know. And sometimes we get into arguments, and when we realize that the other person knows better than us, we start to are fighting, and they are saying, you play for what on don't you think so? That's because we are afraid to admit that we do not know. So instead, we should insult. See me the different, what are you doing? My brothers and sisters, to be humble does not mean you are weak. To be humble does not mean you are less than. To allow other people to have their way sometimes does not mean you don't know what you are doing. But sometimes it is okay to let other people go first. Our society today teaches us that you have to climb that ladder at all costs.